Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Loren Cielo. Are you ready to learn how to swing a pendulum? Well, the first thing is you need a pendulum. So you can make one. Really, the three parts of a pendulum are the handle. There's a little bead up there if you can see it. The string or chain and the bob. That's what that's called. You want to make sure that whatever you use for the bob is balanced. For example, let's say you have a crystal and the crystal's weird shaped, it's not symmetrical, it's heavier on one side than the other, in other words. So whatever you use as the bob, you want it to be a well balanced. Okay. So maybe you've tried to swing a pendulum before and you got erroneous answers. I did too. Um, so let's talk about divination because that is what using a pendulum to read energy is. Divination means to use an object to read energy. There's all forms of it. Palm reading, reading tea leaves, right? The runes, throwing runes, tarot, the I Ching, right? So the most important thing about any type of divination is that you ground all the energy off the object before you use it. If you don't, you're starting to cross the line to psychometry. You could cross the line. And psychometry is reading the energy on an object. Okay. So we will imagine that there's a little invisible grounding cord from our pendulum going all the way down and plugging into the center of the earth and ground all the energy off of it. This might be one reason why you don't want people playing with your pendulum. Don't touch my pendulum. The next thing, and this is the most important thing for swinging a pendulum, you're going to have to play a little game with me. Okay. So you can go ahead and close your eyes if you're not driving. And I want you to imagine that I'm standing physically in front of you. And in my hands, I'm holding a bowl of assorted crystals. Okay. And in a moment, you're going to reach up and I'll hold the bowl for you. You don't need to worry about that. In a moment, you're going to reach out, put your hand in the bowl, feel around until you find the crystal that resonates with you right now. And not so much by looking at it, but by feeling it. Okay, you ready to play the game? Okay, go ahead and reach out, put your hand in the bowl, feel around. Now, please note which hand you're sticking in the bowl. Okay, the game's over. I just needed to trick you into sticking one hand into a bowl of crystals, feeling around till you found something. Whichever hand you lifted up to put in the bowl is called your receiving hand. Okay, the other one is called your sending hand. All right. So the receiving hand is not the hand you're going to hold the pendulum in. Okay. So whatever hand you put in the bowl is not the hand you're going to hold your pendulum with. If you have an ink pen right now, you might want to write on your real palms an R for whichever hand you put in the bowl, the imaginary bowl, and an S on the hand that you did not put in the bowl. That's the one you hold your pendulum in. Okay? That's the hardest part. So many times when I teach this, people say, "Gosh, I love the technique, but I don't know which is my sending and receiving hand." So I just tricked you into it. How do you like that? Okay, so pendulum swinging works by polarity. Each pendulum will swing a different way for a positive or negative answer. So you have to learn each specific pendulum. I've got one here. This is exactly what I sell on my website. And then I've got this one here that a friend of mine made for me, right? So they may not speak to me in the same way. Okay. So what I'm about to show you is for a specific pendulum. Now, our fingers have positive and negative charges on them. The index fingers are negative, middle fingers are positive, ring fingers are negative, and pinkies are positive. The thumb is neutral. So to hold your pendulum without putting a charge on it, you've got to hold it with your thumb, index finger, and middle finger, and they cancel the charges out and make it a neutral charge. Okay? So in that sending hand, you're going to hold your pendulum with your index finger, middle finger, and thumb. Now, again, pendulum swinging is about polarity. So don't cross your feet. So under here, where you can't see, my feet are flat on the ground. If I cross my feet, it crosses my polarity. So don't cross your feet, or don't try to do it where you're sitting Indian style. Okay, now how to learn how each specific pendulum says yes, no, or maybe. Well, we know the polarity on each of our fingers. So all we have to do is spread our fingers wide, hold our other hand out, put the pendulum over your index finger, and whichever way the pendulum swings is a no. That's a no. Then try to isolate your fingers. When you put it over your middle finger, it swings a yes. Okay? That's how you tell yes and no. Now, again, different pendulums will speak a different language. To find out what a maybe is, you hold it over your thumb. So I don't know if you can see on camera, but this pendulum speaks pretty easily to me. When I hold it over my negatively charged index finger, it swings this way, back and forth, like this. No, when I hold it over my positively charged middle finger, it swings like this. Yes. And when it's a maybe, it swings in a circle. Okay? Super easy. And once you learn the language of a particular pendulum, it will always be that. Okay, so it's very easy. Some of the applications for swinging a pendulum could be deciding what food would be healthy for you, picking a crystal, for example. That's one of the main reasons why I swing a pendulum, is to pick a crystal. So I've got a couple here. Golden Healer. These ones are in my grid that I build when I read someone. This is a chevron amethyst. And let's see what else. Tiger's Eye and lapis. Okay. So these are a few of the ones that sit in front of me when I read people, in between the computer and me. So we're going to ask this pendulum, which of these crystals would be most beneficial for me, if any? We might get no's on all of them. Again, I'm not going to cross my feet. I'm going to hold my pendulum with my index finger, middle finger, and thumb, so I'm not putting a charge on it. I'm going to put a grounding cord, imaginary grounding cord, on the pendulum to ground any energy off it. And because I'm reading crystals, I'm going to do the same thing with the crystals, just kind of ground them into the center of the earth. Now, I'm pretty much ready to determine which of these crystals might benefit me. But who's going to answer that question? So, in other words, who's making the pendulum swing? Is it my number one guide, Ankiaya? Is it my higher self, my soul? Is it maybe one of my other guides that I know of? So this is another important part. Of course, if you're picking a food, what does my body want this banana? Your body's answering the question. So we're going to let Ankiaya decide. From his perspective, one, if any of these crystals would be of benefit. So this is how you start. So I know who's going to be answering the question. So I'm going to hold it and I'm going to say, Ankiaya, are you swinging the pendulum? I don't know if you can tell by the video, but it's answering yes. Then the next question, do you know which crystal would benefit me? Yes. So if either one of those questions are no, then I'm not even going to swing the pendulum. I'm going to get an erroneous reading. Okay, but we know that Ankiaya knows he is controlling the pendulum. He does know which crystal, if any, would benefit me. So here we go. We bring it back. Now, remember, this is the sending hand. This is the receiving hand. So it's really easy. You hold something in this hand and say, is this a crystal for me? Yes. Okay, let's see if tiger's eye would be of benefit. No. Okay, now we'll try lapis. No. Ankiaya doesn't think lapis. Last one, golden healer. Is golden healer for me right now? No. So I'm going to pick the amethyst. Super easy. Okay. Now, how do you read someone else? Well, remember the hand thing. If I put my receiving hand into the hand of someone's sending hand, then the information will come through them, through me to my pendulum. So let's make it easy. Let's say they want to know if if their body wants a banana. Once they've been able to determine which of their hands is which, you're going to tell them, okay, put the banana in your receiving hand. Put your other hand in my receiving hand, and then hold on. And again, you'd ask the body, are you swinging the pendulum? If you get a yes, say, do you know what you want to eat? If it's yes, then ask the body if it wants the banana and read the pendulum. Okay. So if you have any questions, go ahead and email me at info@goldenrosepsychic, and I'll try to give you some more tips. Thanks so much and enjoy swinging your pendulum.